Now up and on. All right, greetings everyone. How's everyone doing? Welcome once again. Welcome once again to. I got a message from Quan already. It's a sound, Griff. I wasn't even on. I thought the music was playing. I don't know what happened. All right, greetings everybody. Once again, this is Professor Griff, yours truly, the Minister of Information, Public Enemy. I think I'll be that for life. All right. But in any event, welcome to Serious Minds RN TV. We got a critical show coming up. We're going to jam pack everything within this 60 minutes. All right. Shout out to the Serious Minds family. Quan, what's good? All right. Shout out to the Serious Minds family. And once again, thank you very much for joining us over here on IG and right over here on Facebook and YouTube. All right. If you want to donate and support, thank you, Quan. If you would like to participate in the survival preparedness class coming up this Thursday at 7 o'clock, you can sign up for $35 at www.professorgriff.me. Professorgriff.me. All right. It's going to be some critical stuff, man. Yeah, we're going to talk about some preparedness and we're going to talk about survival. All right. It's a beautiful thing. Sign up. www.professorgriff.me. All right. Hold on. I'm trying to catch up with you, Quan. Hold on. Got you. If you'd like to support independent black media, you can do so by supporting this platform, this channel right here. My cash app is $ Professor Griff. Or if you're right here on YouTube, you can hit the super chat right now, as my man Big Wink did. Thank you very much, good brother. All right. And you can support the channel. No donation is too big. No donation is too small. Dollar, dime, food stamps, Captain Crunch, coupon, your old ass sock. It don't matter. If we can cash it in and make something happen with it, make it happen. All right. Of course, you can go to YouTube. Pardon me. You can go to PayPal. That's www.paypal. Damn, son. It's www.paypal.me/Professor Griff Corp. Or you could just go to professorgriff.me and donate that way. Really appreciate it, everyone, for all the support. All right. All the support. I did the barbershop talk the other night, and they're going to release those things, chop them up, and release them slowly but surely. So just check them out. Just a candid conversation. I hope this conversation don't get me in trouble. But it seems like every time I open my mouth, they find something to just tag on to my name and come at me with, man. Fuck them. Anyway, all right. The cash app is $ Professor Griff, of course, right here on the super chat. And, of course, you can go to PayPal or you can go to my website. All right. If you'd like to advertise your business right here on Serious Minds RN TV, you could do that by contacting me 678-557-2919, or you could just email me at seriousmindsinfo@gmail.com. Email. All right. Just do me a favor. Send me the email and I'll get it. And we can make it happen that way. I'm sure we can. All right. In any event, let me reduce that, minus that, pull some other things up. Hold on. I had something to show y'all. Not that. I could definitely get black to it. Hold on for a second. So, hold on. Quan, am I done? You're right. Quan said if you would like to participate in the Alternative Black Studies course series, you can do that. You can submit your payments to PayPal, or you can just sign up through Serious Minds Institute. Serious Minds Institute. Serious Minds Institute. www.seriousmindsinstitute.com. Check it out. All right. If you haven't heard, the book, To Get the Green, Black, and Ready, will be released in December. All right. I'm trying to get a definite date, but I know it's December. All right. I'm going to make it happen. All right. And like I said, I'm working on some merch to send out to everybody that's paid for the book already. All right. Let's make it happen. All right. In any event, hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. I am trying to find. Nope. Nope, not that either. Hold on. It could be in here. I don't know. All right. So just brace yourself. We're going to be talking about tonight's show. We're going to be a 100-year-old survivor of the Tulsa race riots. Black Wall Street has survived, and he is now issuing a lawsuit. This information is coming to me by way of my big brother. All right. Yo, he was part of the JBs at one time. I think he played the sax or he was dancing, but no, he didn't do any of that. But thanks, Jack. Really appreciate you, Benny, for the information. We're going to dive into this thing. It's very kind of telling about what's going on in America. We got two pieces we're going to talk about. That, and we're going to back it up in why America owes black people, just like in general. Why does America owe black people? But there's an interesting commercial that I want to show everyone, which is kind of fascinating. I'm gonna ask my man how he did this, so I guess I'm gonna pull it. Let me do this here. Let me share my screen, and then let me play it. All right, you can put right back up there. All right, now that's a goddamn commercial. I mean, if I've never saw a commercial, that is a commercial. That was brought to you by Mr. Earl Holder at www.headquarters.com. When I first saw a commercial, I'm like, oh, damn, he stepped it up like overnight. I'm like, what the hell? You need to make commercials for real. You can contact Earl Holder for mastering at 404-643-8213. Hell, can you make me a commercial? For real. That shit was on point, right to the point. Commercial over, point made. Anyway, tonight's subject, 100-year-old survivor, all right, issues a lawsuit for reparations, and he's suing the government, at least the local government there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and we're going to dive into that momentarily. All right, in the meantime, in between time, all right, make sure you support independent black media. All right. Anyway, here we go. Let me see. All right, 100-year-old survivor of the 1921 race massacre in Tulsa, Oklahoma, is the lead figure in a lawsuit that demands reparations for damage. It says that continued since the destruction of the city's black business district. Leslie Benefield, mother Randall, was a little girl when an angry white mob rampaged through the city Greenwood district, known as Black Wall Street, because it was home to more than 300 black-owned businesses. By the end of the night, on June 1st, 1921, a 35-city block district was burned to the ground. Contemporary reports of deaths began at 36, but historians now believe as many as 300 people died, according to the Tulsa Historical Society and Museum. All right, the lawsuit was filed Tuesday in Tulsa, Oklahoma District Court by Justice Greenwood advocates, a team of civil rights and human rights lawyers. The plaintiffs include Vernon AME, Church, the only black-owned building to survive the massacre, descendants of other victims, and Tulsa African Ancestral Society. I went there to Tulsa when the thing went down, when they was trying to blame me for the thing with dude in Dallas. So I went there, And the places that they burned down don't exist no more, but they got plaques on where these businesses were. And you should see it now, man. So much. I mean, it's a certain chill that comes over you and brings tears to your eyes, for real. But they're actually issuing a lawsuit. And this is very critical. So I'm in the middle of the article, but what do you guys think? What do we think? We talk about Black Wall Street. Now, keep in mind, there were other Black Wall Streets at that particular time. There was other thriving Black businesses at that time around the country. Wilmington, North Carolina was one of them. And other places around the country was thriving Black businesses. So this whole idea of pull yourself up by your bootstraps could be no further from the truth than the liars that spew the lies. These people keep talking about pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. Well, shit, when you operating with no damn boots, when you're barefooted, you can't even pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You have no boots, as Dr. Martin Luther King said. But we did just that in 1921. All right. Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, and other places built thriving cities. 300 businesses, it says, was burned to the ground. 35 city blocks. If you walk through downtown Atlanta is not even 35 blocks. So you got to take downtown Atlanta 15 times and stack them next to one another. That's the area that they burned down. All the way from downtown to Buckhead, they burned all of that down. 35 city blocks. All right. But this gentleman is suing. The lawsuit claims that the racial and economic disparities caused by the massacre created a public nuisance. Hold on. I forgot we can let the people over here see what we're talking about. The lawsuit claims that the racial and economic disparities caused by the massacre created a public, hold on, why is that? Okay, right here. All right. Create a public nuisance and economic blight that remains. It says the local government and agencies failed to help the neighborhood rebuild. All right. So now I have something I want to play for the Negroes like Candace Owens and the Negresses like Candace Owens and the rest of the Larry Elders and the rest of the coons and buck dancing Negroes and the rest of y'all flunkies. All right. The question is I always ask the question in my mind about people that speak ill of our condition. Do you know how we got here? Put the cap on that site for me on both sides. Do you know how we got in this situation? All right. Do you understand the information that groups like ADOS and other groups, all right, December 12th movement and other groups are putting out there? All right. So we need to talk about how we got in this condition. We just didn't end up in this situation. All right. Okay. So now, Greenwood and North Tulsa community residents continue to face racial disparity, racially disparate treatment and city treatment barriers to basic human needs, including the jobs, financial security, education, housing, justice, and health. All of these things are stacked on top of one another due to them burning Black Wall Street. All right. I got a good documentary on Wilmington called Wilmington on Fire, a Christopher Everett film. All right. And we need to watch that. Wilmington, there's some documentary films on Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Black Wall Street. Like I said, I went there to see it for myself. And then to hear now, what's the gentleman that was supposed to be raising the money to get the land there to rebuild? Jay Morrison. I'm hearing some things on different platforms, on different channels. I'm ill-equipped right now to speak on that, and I'd rather not. Let's do some more investigating and see what's going on with the monies that was supposed to have been sent in to help rebuild. All right. Among the defendants, the city of Tulsa, the regional chamber of Tulsa County Board of Commissioners said it would not comment on pending litigation. All right, so it's an ongoing dynamic that's going on. As a matter of fact, I was there with Dr. Khalid El Hakim with the Black History 101 Mobile Museum. All right. Dr. Khalid El Hakim says every business and home that Black folks lost must be accounted for. The cost must include all of the years and missed income and change in value, real estate value. Wow. All of the descendants should receive reparations. Wow. 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 I want to thank my brother Jack for sending me this information. This is the kind of information that young people need to be equipped with in order to take the fight to the enemy on an intellectual and historical level. We go there with all of the emotions and we don't state articles like this and what Khalid El Hakim just gave us. Come on, what hashtag ADOS and other organizations are giving us. Come on, press the pause button on the emotions for a minute and let's present the facts. All right. I want to shout out this company. Shout out Black Guns. I don't mean to put you in the line of fire, bro. Black Guns Matter. All right? Because black guns do matter. Black guns matter. That's why that cracker was looking at me like that, man, when I went to the damn to get my oil changed today. Because they won't let you get out your car. So I stuck my head out the window. I said, he said, may I help you? I'm like, yeah. I need to get an oil change. He looked at me like, God damn. But anyway, all right. The state of Oklahoma used a public nuisance. Oh, y'all hear what I said over here? Shout out to Black Guns Matter. Look them up. All right. Among the defendants, blah, 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 blah. We got that. The state of Oklahoma used the public nuisance law to win a $572 million lawsuit against drug maker Johnson & Johnson last year for its role in the state's opiate crisis. Wow. Wow. You got $572 million from a drug company, Johnson & Johnson. But 35 city blocks, 300 businesses, 300 to 400 people were murdered by white people in that particular region. And y'all want to cry about some, man. According to the lawsuit, the mob looted and destroyed Randall's grandmother's home, causing her emotional and physical distress that continues to this day. She experiences flashbacks of black bodies that were stacked upon one another on the streets of her neighborhood and was burned. They killed the people, stacked their bodies up, and set them on fire in Black Wall Street. Woo! Trina Floyd said, y'all be careful with that fake ancestry stuff. They're going to try to use that against y'all when the reparation thing gets serious. Well, Trina, is serious right now. We need to arm everyone with this information right here. I'm not saying it's like this is new information. I'm saying my brother presented it to me today. I said I would go over it. Let's go over it. All right. So Trina, you absolutely correct. When the shit start hitting the fan, all right, we're going to see. Malcolm X said what? When you throw a rock in the crowd of dogs, the only one that hollers is the one that get hit. Shit, if your ass ain't guilty, duck. Fuck. All right. Randall is one of the last living survivors of the massacre, which occurred after a 19-year-old black man, Dick Rowland. Shit, you should know by his name. His fucking name is Dick. Dick Rowland was accused of assaulting a 17-year-old white girl named Sarah Page in an elevator. Did you read the story? Yeah. They were in the elevator, and you in the elevator, you exchange pleasantries, whatever. And the 17-year-old white girl said he said something fly. Same shit like the Emmett Till thing. Emmett Till being a jokester, I think whistled or something, whatever. Charges against Rowland were later dismissed according to the Tulsa Historical Society. Attorney DeMario Solomon Simmons told CNN that Randall is in poor health but was unbeaten, encouraged when she heard about the lawsuit. The The lawsuit says that I'm skipping down. Now, the lawsuit says that the Greenwood residents suffered 50 million to 100 million in property damage from the massacre. That's back in 1921. $100 million back in 1921 is what kind of money today? Shit, you could buy some now laters and double McGums, some Skittles. Matter of fact, fuck that. You could buy the companies that make them. You understand what I'm saying? We can buy a couple of different states. We'll take Georgia. We'll take North Carolina and South Carolina. All right, y'all can keep Florida. Keep that shit. You can keep California. You can keep a couple of all them coal ass states. Y'all can keep all of that. I'll just get a scissors and be like this. Keep all of that. All right. We're going to take 8 to 10 states that we can call our own. All right. So this is not unreasonable. Excuse me. Especially now. Exactly. Miss Randall wants respect, restoration, and repair. This is what reparations is about. It's not only a check, but we need to be repaired as a people. All right, family? Tell me, what do y'all think? All right? I see Sharia over here laughing and crying at the same time. All right? Nah, sorry. They can keep Florida. Florida look like a goddamn... We don't want Florida.
I think of Cat Williams' character in Atlanta every time I think Florida.
Yeah, no.
The alligator.
Yeah, no. Self-determination makes for sure. All right, we want 8 to 10 states that we can call our own. All right, we're going to be the ones to decide. No one's going to decide for us. Do not handpick some bootleg handkerchief head, buck dancing ass Negroes to come speak for the vast majority of us. We don't want you speaking for us. Matter of fact, your ass don't even want to be black. So don't speak for us. Sit your ass down. Go somewhere. Go move over with them. We don't want you speaking for us. All right? We want some people to sit at the table that love black people. All right? I told y'all before, when we sit down to negotiate the land rights, all of those people that didn't claim to be black, y'all move the fuck out the way. We don't even want y'all speaking for us. Matter of fact, go take a Cheerios and Captain Crunch Frosted Flakes Fruit Loop break and shit. We'll call y'all when we're ready. Seriously. See, you know when the dog bark like that, it's either an intruder or the census people or Jehovah's Witnesses. Fuck. Sorry, Jehovah's Witness, I didn't mean that. Let me, you know, sometimes when the arrow leaves the bow and you see it and you can't grab it fast enough. To the Jehovah's Witnesses, I apologize. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So this is very real. All right. Yeah, if you didn't fill out the census shit, they coming to your door. They said it. And that's just a precursor to you not taking the vaccine. They coming to get your ass. They coming to the door. But I had the dog with me outside in the front yard. And he was like, roo, 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 roo. I'm like, calm down. Ma'am, I don't think you could step out the car because he will bite you and he's big and I just can't hold him. And I was kicking him in the butt at the same time to get him to do something. I was like, oh shit, no, I can't hold him. So she was like, oh my God, I'm gonna. I'm like, thank you, bye, see you later. Fucking Becky or somebody, whatever the fuck her name was. Anyway, yeah, the fucking census people showed up with that census look on their face. Well, how many people live in your home? Fuck, I don't know. Let me see. Manuel, Shaliqua. Hold on, man. I'm counting the fucking people. I don't fucking know. I don't even know, man. I just got relatives over. My Mexican cousins. I got my people from the islands. Fuck, it's just a lot of us. Why? Why you need to know that? Anyway. What was I saying? Okay, yeah. All right, come on, I'm trying to be serious. Idea, peace. All right, so I got this other piece to show y'all for the Negroes. All right, strictly for the Negroes. Hold on. Hold on, I gotta find my piece for the Negroes. Hold on. Not that, not the Tulsa thing, not that. Hold on. Fucking right here, my friend. This might be it. take this so the people can see it. Hold on for a second. Hit this button up here so you can turn it around. Hold on for a second, man. Let me blow this up like this. I'm going to share my screen. And we got to watch for a few minutes, all right, family? I think this is it. I hope I didn't press the wrong button. It might end up being something else. We're like, what the hell is he? Hold on. Yeah. Let me see. 14. Whoopie whoop. Yep. See, it's always a beautiful thing. It's always a beautiful thing when you find a white guy telling the truth. It's always a beautiful thing when you can find a white guy that's going to tell the truth. Some of them do. Very rare. Some of them do. We're going to watch this one. All right, here we go.
We need to talk about race. Why are people protesting? Why are people angry? Slavery ended 150 years ago. The civil rights movement was 60 years ago. Racial discrimination is illegal now. Heck, we even had a black president. So why are people still upset? We're going to go through history and we're going to look at some data and we're going to go quickly so this video doesn't get too long. So hang on. These are two households in America. One is black, the other is white.
Wait, did y'all see that shit? It's like, fucking hang on. Fucking hang on. You know when you get a fucking hang on, you know to sit your ass there, don't go nowhere. If a white dude on some shit like this ever says, hang on, hang the fuck on. Don't go nowhere. Don't do nothing. Don't move. You understand what I'm saying? What's them little possums? They be running across the street and when they see you, they stop and freeze. A squirrel? What the fuck kind of squirrels y'all got? This motherfucker said a squirrel. No, brother.
Today, the average black household has 60% of the income of the average white household, but only 1/10 of the household wealth. Why does that matter? Well, household wealth helps send kids to school, helps launch small businesses, stabilizes loss of income, and helps families survive catastrophic events like divorce or unemployment. What's amazing about this number is that there are lots of extremely wealthy African Americans, movie stars, pop stars, 75% of the NBA, 70% of the NFL, Oprah, Tyler Perry, Ben Carson, Morgan Freeman, and there are a lot of extremely poor white families. Think of Appalachia and other parts of rural America. But even when we factor all that in, the average black household still has only 1/10 the wealth of the average white household. How did that happen? Well, here we go. What happened after we freed the slaves, after the Civil War ended? 9 states enacted vagrancy laws, making it a crime to not have a job. The law was applied only to black men. 8 of those states then allowed prisoners, the black men who'd just been arrested for not having a job, to be hired out to plantation owners with little or no pay going to the prisoners themselves. So, that's right, men who had been freed from the plantations found themselves right back on the plantations. Additional laws prohibited mischief and insulting gestures, which allowed more black men to be arrested and created a huge market for convict leasing. Working conditions for these leased convicts could be worse than slavery because the plantation owner leasing the black prisoner had no long-term interest in his well-being. By the turn of the 20th century, every state in the South had mandated racial segregation by law, Jim Crow laws, which supported a social ostracism for blacks that extended to schools, churches, housing, jobs, restrooms, hotels and restaurants, hospitals, prisons, funeral homes, morgues, and cemeteries. White politicians competed with each other to be more strict and specific on segregation. For example, a law prohibiting blacks and whites from playing chess together. No interracial chess playing. That might lead to lawn darts. In 1896, the Supreme Court ruled that these Jim Crow laws were perfectly legal because they, quote, reflected customs and traditions and, quote, preserved public peace and good order. These laws stayed in place until 1954, when the idea of separate but equal was struck down in the ruling known as Brown versus Board of Education. So what happened next after Brown? Well, in 1956, the Southern Manifesto was signed by 101 out of 128 Congress members from the South, pledging to maintain Jim Crow by all means possible. 5 states passed nearly 50 new Jim Crow laws after 1954. Private whites-only schools, dubbed segregation academies, popped up all across the South, many of them Christian. But now widespread civil rights protests, combined with anti-war protests that were occasionally becoming violent, inspired the political rise of law and order rhetoric. Richard Nixon became the first candidate to campaign specifically on a platform of law and order. In 1968, 81% of Americans agreed that law and order had broken down in this country, and the majority blamed communists and Negroes who start riots. Let's go back to household wealth. The average black household has 1/10 the wealth of the average white household. Why is that? Because the number one source of intergenerational wealth in America is home ownership. And from the 1930s to well into the 1960s, the federal government enacted policies to actively encourage white families to own homes and discourage black families from doing the same. In 1934, the Federal Housing Administration created a risk rating system to determine which neighborhoods were safe investment for federally backed mortgages. Black neighborhoods were deemed too risky, marked off in maps with red ink, in a practice now known as redlining. After World War II, a boom of new suburban housing was built all over the country, much of it restricted by deed to whites only. In 1948, 40% of new housing developments in Minneapolis, for example, had covenants prohibiting purchase by African Americans. So blacks couldn't live in white neighborhoods and couldn't get federally insured loans for black neighborhoods. Until 1950, the Realtor's Code of Ethics specifically prohibited selling a house in a white neighborhood to a non-white family. You could lose your realtor's license if you helped a black family buy a home in a white neighborhood. In the 1930s, the FHA's underwriting manual said, quote, incompatible racial groups should not be permitted to live in the same communities. The FHA went on to recommend that highways would be a great way to separate black neighborhoods from white neighborhoods. The FHA funded huge white-only suburban housing developments, leaving blacks behind in inner cities. After World War II, the GI Bill provided subsidized mortgages to help millions of men returning from war to buy their first home. While technically eligible for the GI Bill, the way it was administered left 1 million black veterans largely on the outside looking in. In New York and New Jersey, the GI Bill insured more than 67,000 new mortgages. Fewer than 100 of those went for homes purchased by non-whites. In 1947, there were 3,200 mortgages in Mississippi guaranteed by the government for returning veterans. Of the 3,200, only 2 went to black veterans. As a result, white families after the war were able to build home equity, growing wealth for retirement, inheritance, and college education for their kids. One historian has stated that there was no greater instrument for widening an already huge racial gap in post-war America than the GI Bill. And then came the war on drugs. Inner city blacks were extremely vulnerable economically. The overwhelming majority of African Americans in 1970 lacked college degrees and had grown up in fully segregated schools. In the second half of the 20th century, factories and manufacturing jobs moved to the suburbs. Black workers struggled to follow the jobs. They couldn't live in many of the new suburban developments. And as late as 1970, only 28% of black fathers had access to a car. When a white man in Cicero, Illinois, just outside Chicago, sublet an apartment to a black family, the white community rioted, setting fire to the apartment building and smashing windows until the National Guard had to intervene. The result of all of this: in 1970, 70% of African American men had good blue-collar jobs. By 1987, only 28% did. As unemployment skyrocketed in African American communities, so did drug use. As drug use increased, so did crime. A dynamic today that we see playing out in white rural communities hit hard by unemployment and opioid addiction. Throughout the 1970s, white America became increasingly concerned by images of black violence shown on TV and in magazines. Drugs were the problem. Drug dealers and drug users were the enemy. So we decided to treat the drug epidemic not as a health crisis, but as a crisis of criminality, and we militarized our response. During the Reagan-Bush years from 1981 to 1991, how we invested money in anti-drug allocation completely changed. The anti-drug budget for the Department of Defense went from $33 million in 1981 to more than $1 billion in 1991. The Drug Enforcement Agency's budget to fight criminality and drug use went from $86 million to more than $1 billion. Then we came to the 1986 Anti-Drug Abuse Act, which carried mandatory minimum sentences, much harsher for the distribution of crack cocaine, which was associated with blacks, than powder cocaine, which was associated with whites. Mandated evictions from public housing for any tenant who permitted drug-related criminal activity to occur on or near premises. It eliminated many government benefits, including student loans, for anyone convicted of a drug crime. The 1988 revision set a 5-year minimum sentence for possessing any amount of crack cocaine, even if there was no intent to distribute. Previously, it had been a 1-year maximum sentence for possessing any amount of any drug without the intent to distribute. Now, it might seem like we're picking on Republicans, so now it's time to pick on some Democrats. During the Clinton presidency, the funding for public housing was cut by $17 billion. At the same time, the funding for prisons increased by $19 billion. The number of Americans imprisoned for drug crimes exploded. In 1980, there were 41,000 Americans imprisoned for drug crimes. Today, there are more than 500,000, more than the entire 1980 prison population. Most arrests are for possession. In 2005, 80% of the arrests were for possessing drugs, not selling drugs. In a bizarre twist, we also militarized our police forces. Between 1997 and 1999, the Pentagon handled 3.4 million orders for military equipment from more than 11,000 police agencies, including 253 aircraft, including Black Hawk and Huey helicopters, 7,800 M16 rifles, 181 grenade launchers for the police, 8,000 bulletproof helmets, 1,200 night vision goggles. We also changed policing tactics. A no-knock entry is when a SWAT team literally breaks down your door or smashes in through the windows, like in E.T. when the cops come flying in from every direction looking for E.T. So back to Minneapolis. In 1986, Minneapolis SWAT teams performed no-knock entries 35 times. 10 years later, in 1996, they performed no-knock entries 700 times. That's 2 every day. There were financial incentives for arresting more drug users. Federal grants to local police departments were tied to the number of drug arrests. Research suggests the huge surge in arrests from increased drug enforcement was due more to budget incentives than to actual increases in drug use. So what was the result? An explosion of our prison population. In 25 years, the U.S. prison population went from 350,000 to over 2.3 million. The United States now has the highest rate of incarceration in the world. We imprison a higher percentage of our black population than South Africa ever did during apartheid. Data shows that the increased prison population was driven primarily by changes in sentencing policy. There was no visible connection between higher incarceration rates and higher violent crime rates. If you are a drug felon, you are barred from public housing. You are ineligible for food stamps. You're forced to check the box on employment applications, marking yourself as a convicted felon. A criminal record has been shown to reduce the likelihood of getting a callback or job offer by as much as 50%. The negative impact of a criminal record for an African-American job applicant is twice as large as for a white applicant. In 2006, 1 in 106 white men was behind bars. For black men, it was 1 in 14. For black men between the age of 20 and 35, the age where families are built, it's 1 in 9. Overall, African Americans and white Americans use drugs at roughly the same rate, but the imprisonment rate of African Americans for drug charges is almost 6 times that of whites. It may be true that there isn't explicit racism in our legal system anymore, but it doesn't mean justice is blind. A study, a law in Georgia permitted prosecutors to seek life imprisonment for a second drug offense. Over the period of the study, this law was used against 1% of white second-time offenders and 16% of black second-time offenders. As a result, 98% of prisoners serving life sentences under this law were black. Study, African American youth in the U.S. make up 16% of all youth, but 28% of all juvenile arrests, 35% of youth sent to adult court instead of juvenile court, and 58% of youth admitted to adult state prison. Study, blacks on the New Jersey Turnpike make up 15% of all drivers, but 42% of all stops by police and 73% of all arrests. Among all drivers stopped, white drivers were 2 times more likely than black drivers to be carrying drugs. Study, Volusia County, Florida. 5% of drivers were black or Latino, but 80% of drivers stopped were black or Latino. Study, Oakland, California. Black drivers are twice as likely as white drivers to be stopped and 3 times more likely to be searched. In Minneapolis, Philando Castile had been pulled over 49 times in 13 years, mostly for minor infractions. The 49th time he was pulled over, he was shot by the officer while sitting inside his car. He'd been pulled over for a broken taillight. We need to talk about race. Why are people protesting? Why are people angry? Slavery ended 150 years ago. The civil rights movement was 60 years ago. Racial discrimination is illegal now. Heck, we even had a black president. So why are people still upset? We're going to go through history and we're going to look at some data, and we're going to go quickly so this video doesn't get too long. So hang on. These are 2 households in America. One is black, the other is white. Today, the average black household
Thank you, Quan. This is why we're old. So take a deep breath, take it all in. I know it's a lot. This is why we're old. Now you heard it from them. You could go back over it. You could take some notes. Hold on for a second. Let me minus this and see where it's at. I think someone sent that to me on Instagram. At Phil.Vischer, Vischer. Because yeah, if I tried to find that again somewhere, I probably couldn't. All right, but someone sent it to me on IG. All right. It's a lot to take in, but nonetheless, this is the data that we need to equip ourselves with in order to kind of deal with these kind of situations. So when they throw up that every other people come here and they're able to make strides and make progress, how come you guys can't do it? Well, shit. Here's the information. This is why we can't do it. That needs to be printed out. We need to keep that in our back pockets. So anytime they start running that madness down, we need to run that down to them. Lisa Abrams, I think it takes a white man to tell us because we're more apt to listen to a white man, because black people have been saying this. So with the idea of the 105-year-old man suing and issuing a lawsuit in Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street, and this, I mean, it's probably 100 more stories like that, though. But this is the reason why. And the only thing that we can say is Yo, facts. Facts all day long. Facts all day long. I'm sorry, John Taylor, whoever you are. Black existed way before 1960. You must be talking about the English language, because they beat us upside the head and took our language. Black existed way before 1960. Now, if it showed up, oh, the term, okay, thank you. Be clear, bro. That's all. Be thorough and be clear. The term, okay, I got you. All right, so now, this kind of information is hard to refute when you're laying it out in these terms, and you're laying it out with data. You understand what I'm saying? That's why I said press the pause button on the emotion for a minute. Speak clearly, precisely, like the gentleman did on here. You understand what I'm saying? And we know half the time they're not listening to us. See, but everyone that is speaking up and out for us, especially in ADOS and all these other organizations, need to have this information on deck. Am I right or wrong? And this is what needs to happen. And it's simple. It's not hard to understand. It laid it out. All right. Information is power, man. I wouldn't say information necessarily king, but it's power. And Mr. or Mrs. Carter, I think that's, did you say it pisses you off? And it should. And it should. You're right. Our own people, Ernie, our own people don't listen to us. So it takes someone like him to say it in order for us to, to regurgitate it and say, listen, no, I got this from, Phil, who told us to hold on, guys. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, you're a Mr. Thank you. All right, Mr. Carter. So then, yes, everyone needs to be equipped with this kind of information. All right? With this kind of information that's out there, no writer, be you writing a book, a script, movie, or a damn rap song, should have writer's block with that kind of information out there. All right? I'm 36 and I just heard what happened before I was born. Hard to fight what we don't know. Listen. Pristine care. It was up to your older brothers and sisters, your mom, your dad, your uncles to educate you. All right. So not knowing is not an excuse, especially now. If you're 36 and you've had the internet, how long? You've had the internet for 20 years? Come on, bro. Pristine care. You've had the internet for 20 years. You've had Professor Griff for a little bit longer than that. So come on. Come on. And I could name a whole host of other people that have been teaching this. Now it depends on where your head was at. Where were you at? What were you doing? Some people that I run into that says, wow, I've never really heard of Professor Griff, Public Enemy. So what do you guys do? I said, unless your ass been living under a rock for the last 20 years, yeah, nah. I'm sorry, no.
30.
Yeah.
30.
That's a good question, Mr. Carter. Would you say we should have followed Malcolm instead of MLK, Martin Luther King? I say no. I say we should have followed both of them, but we should have protected them. We should have protected them. We should have protected Marcus Garvey. We should have protected the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. We should have protected Medgar Evers, Steve Biko, Patrice Lumumba. You understand what I'm saying? Steve Coakley, Khalid Abdul Muhammad, Tony Martin. All right, we should have protected them. So now in hindsight, we talk about should we have followed Malcolm or Martin? Hell, white people didn't like Malcolm or Martin because white people killed them both. So come on, man. Stokely Carmichael, yes. Kwame Ture. We should have protected them. Then we could have benefited. Like there's some elders among us today that we don't protect. This is why I think organizations like NFAC and other organizations like that are so important, whether you agree with their philosophy or ideology or not. If you don't, leave them the hell alone and go do your own thing. We should have protected Dr. Francis Cress Wilson, Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, all right? Dr. Finch, Charles Finch, Amos Wilson. So who are those young revolutionary scholars that are coming up today that y'all should protect? Y'all need to protect them. I'm saying y'all because, yeah, y'all can't include me on that. Carter G. Woodson, H. Rap Brown, Dr. Sabi, hell, Neely Fuller Jr. Come on now. No, I'm not assuming pristine care. Then you talk about, if you've heard of Public Enemy, Professor Griff, and some of these people I mentioned, then why didn't you know these things? Because your early comments said you only 36. Something about you wasn't taught, or you wasn't something. I'm 36 and I just heard what happened before I was born. Stop that, man. That was up to you to study. There's a whole bunch of shit that happened before I was born. I had to go back and learn about it, right? Tulsa, Oklahoma happened in 1921. I was born in 1960. So if I can study, you can go study. I'm not coming down on you. This ain't nothing personal, but I'm saying. But anyway, we have the opportunity to undo some of the things that we didn't do, our parents didn't do, or our parents' parents didn't do. All right, stop letting these people attack your leaders, man. All right. You know, we could start stand up today. There's a certain energy that's going on right now. All right. There's a certain energy going on right now. You can stand up and speak up and out for your people. All right. Oh, give thanks, Sharia. Really appreciate you. So what we have to begin to do, I want to thank my brother once again for sending me that information. All right. Because it's very vital that young people understand this. So we don't make statements like, you know, I don't know what was before I was born. That's why we call it his story and her story. All right. We have to know what happened in the past in order to understand the present, in order to make a way for ourselves and carve out a destiny for ourselves, carve out our future. All right. That's the reason why we have the Alternative Black Studies course, to develop insight, hindsight, and foresight. All right. We can't use not knowing as an excuse anymore. All right. Not with the internet right in our hands. You got a cell phone in your hands. You can study anything that you want to study. No more excuses. All right. Black men, stop being so goddamn sensitive, man. Like fucking little girls, man. Stop being so fucking sensitive. Well, Professor Griff said something that hurt my feelings, man. Fuck up. Grow the fuck up. Man the fuck up. That's what women are waiting for, us to man up. Anyway. The Alternative Black Studies course is there for us to study. The Rites of Passage program is coming in October. The class this Thursday, I need y'all to take the class this Thursday. Go to www.professorgriff.me and sign up for the survival class. All right? Brothers, Stop being so sensitive, man. Seriously. Getting angry and going back, pulling up his t-shirt, moving his muscles aside to unloose his bra. The fuck, man? It's like, come on, bro. Men shopping men, steel shopping steel. You understand what I'm saying? Only way we're going to get it right. Thank you, Trina Floyd. We need to listen to our elders. All right, stop coming up with goddamn excuses for the men that we supposed to be. All right? Love y'all to life. I got to get ready to get out of here. If y'all want to support independent black media, y'all can do so. Especially on the super chat over here on YouTube. Of course, anyone else and everywhere else, you could just hit the Cash App $ Professor Griff. All right? I can't eat more. Somebody said eat more and rest. I think I need a little bit more rest than eating. I can't eat a lot, man. Seriously, I just can't do it. I gotta stay light on my feet, man. Shit, D.L. Hughley might come after me. I don't know. Shit. Study Sharia says, study what is important and stand up as a people. Don't speak on a lot because I have more studying to do. Okay. Marie Scott, stop that. That's insulting my intelligence. But to answer your question, yes. A lot of the meditating and prayer to me is sacred. So I don't do that in front of you. I might bow my head every now to say a silent prayer for people, but for the vast majority of people that even around me every day don't see me pray. That prayer, that's between me and the Creator. It ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Oh yeah. Summer solstice 21. Yeah, he might run up on me or something, dude. Then he can get these hands. I said somebody could put up 100 stacks. Then we good. Yeah, we could rent out Decatur Boxing Gym. DL could come down. Come on, Moni Love Robbins, what's good with you? You coming on late as usual. Give the link for the course, www.professorgriff.me. Go to my website. The course is there. All right, Moni? Yeah, K. Nicole B., he don't want these hands. I'm sorry. I'm not kicking up no dust with dude, but no. D.L. Hughley do not want these hands. He got there's some Errol Spence sitting in me. Some Bud Crawford sitting in me. Lomachenko. Devontae Davis. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And that overhand right. Deontay Wilder. You understand what I'm saying? So, yeah. Okay, Moni, I'm going to let you off the hook. I know, John. He ain't about this life. Yeah. Stick to telling jokes, bro. You understand what I'm saying? Somebody else challenged me, though. I'm not going to tell you his name. I said, dude, sit your old ass down, man. You get hurt fucking with Griff, man. Yeah, nah. He said, come on, man, 5 rounds. He said, give me 3 to 4 months to train and then let's do it. I said, what you think I'm going to be doing between 3 to 5 months? 3 or 4 months? Nah. Stop that, man. And it's somebody y'all know, but I ain't going to tell you his name. I'm like, dude, stop that. Stop. Nah, man. I'll knock that motherfucker dick in the dirt fucking with me. I'm not that fun to play with, no. Nah, no. Oh, yeah, I got some Devin Haney in me. I like Devin Haney. Yeah, for real. No. Oh, yeah, thank you, Sharia. They don't know I stay ready. It don't take me 6 months to train. Nope. Shit, 30 days from now, let's go in the ring. Shit, make it happen. Put up 100 stacks. We'll rent the gym out in Decatur. We'll invite everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And we make sure that motherfucker gets some social distancing. All right? Stop throwing names out there. I'm not going to tell you who it was. All the fat, chubby people that y'all see halfway making through their videos struggling is him. So don't worry about who it is. We good. All right, I love y'all to life. I got to get ready to get out of here, man. For real. Selling tickets, yeah, he putting up 100 stacks. What you mean? It ain't gonna be free. Yeah, we get the black pay-per-view. Yup. Thank you. All right. I love y'all to life. I got to get out of here, man. I was supposed to do a night shot today, but I don't think it's going to happen. Shane, hanging out with the damn Uber driver, man. Both of them got lost. How two people in the car going to get lost? You understand what I'm saying? It's like, damn. Anyway, I love y'all to life. I'll see y'all tomorrow night in Mic Check 1212, and I'll see you on Thursday for the class. Survival preparedness class. Love y'all to life. I got to get out of here. Peace, family. Peace, peace, peace. Oh yeah, I think she can get in the ring with. I got a female martial arts artist that'll get in the ring with Candace Owens. For real. I love the UK too. As a matter of fact, I'm about to do something in the UK online. It's about to be on and popping in London. For real. Brixton. All right. Peace, Ernesto. Peace, man. It was good. All right. I got to get ready to get out of here. Peace. Dun it, dun it, dun it, dun it.